work a lot with technology. Many of those technologies come from military applications originally. So it would be pointless to deny that working on the internet or using GPS is not in a direct lineage of military applications. As an independent artist, the challenge is about how we can survive, how we can build a practice and make it sustainable over a longer period of time, to find a way to operate with some degree of autonomy, at the same time as building collaborations and good partnerships is a constant challenge. As artists, we're looking to access knowledge and resources, money, in order to be able to thrive, not just survive. I think money is a taboo in the arts in particular. There's not enough discussion about how we build sustainable business models and how we survive, and that the people who pay the highest penalty for that are artists themselves, because we all learn at our own speed through making our own mistakes rather than sharing knowledge and ideas. In the UK at the moment, there's a very active discussion about this because of the financial pressures that artists are under, most particularly independent artists. It's become extremely difficult, and everyone is looking for new ideas. I think there is a great willingness, even a hunger, to think in new ways about how artists can operate in society. I wrote a blog post recently about artists and money, trying to share some of my experience about how I have made a living and how, as Blast Theory, we have been able to make a living and to survive. To share my salary and some of the ways in which we have sustained our practice and how that's changed over time. To reflect the fact that it's an ongoing process, that there is no easy, settled way as artists that we can build a sustainable practice, that it's about constantly looking for new ideas and new ways of working. That good and strong business models is as much a part of artistic practice as the artwork itself for me, because we work in deeply collaborative ways, being able to build interdisciplinary teams and get the resources together to enable those teams to work at their optimum level is a challenge in its own right. So we're deeply concerned with processes and methodologies, and underpinning all of that is money. I think it has become less orthodox in the artistic community about how you work and who you might work with. And so I think what you see is artists setting their own position, and even that is not stable over time. You know, we live in a less ideological period. We live in a period where, and by that I mean where ideologies are less clearly defined and structured. We clearly have a massive set of ideologies bearing on us every minute of every day. I think it's important that we engage critically with one another and ask those difficult questions and make no blanket assumptions. You know, our organisation is funded by the state. You know, the UK government gives us money. Sometimes we get funded by the British Council, and the British Council has a clear agenda to advocate for the United Kingdom internationally. It is a tool of soft power, and we are sometimes shown because we are deemed to be showing off a new world of technology and interaction, things that are cutting edge, and you know, we are complicit in that process. For myself, I don't feel that it would be constructive to say, okay, well then we're not going to do that. We won't take support, therefore we won't show work internationally in the same way. You know, but that's an accommodation that everyone makes. Mm-hmm. Some of the weakness of left-wing critiques in the last couple of decades has been to take very narrow positions of refusal that run the risk of really gaining you nothing in the longer term. You know, to try and refuse things around which there's such a powerful socio-political, technological force, like increased surveillance. We need to try and arrive at much more complex forms of understanding around it. But that's because I'm an artist, not an activist. And I'm aware that if you're an activist, it's a completely different level of fight. But my point of view is that my job is not to make explicit positions. My job is to try and reflect as fully and subtly as possible the complexity of the world around me. And the thing that I've really taken from this event, which has been very exciting to me, is to explore the complexities of how artists engage with technology, with technologists. I think the complexity of how we can do that in a way that enables artists to have agency, to present their ideas in an interesting way, and to engage deeply with other disciplines has been fascinating. It's a very complex question to inject creativity into processes that have their own rhythms and disciplines. Artists are often doing their best work when they are disruptive or abrasive or challenging or critical in some way. And to do that in a way that is constructive in the long term it's almost a paradox, but it can be done.